Google Bart just added extensions, and you can integrate it with your Google Workspace, transforming it into an extremely powerful assistant, entirely for free. So let's go to Bart and have a look at that. And when we are here, we immediately get a message introducing Bart extensions. So we can just click through that and look at what the extensions actually are. And when we are here, you now notice the plus icon up there. So we click on that and we get to the extensions. Now most of them are turned on automatically. And down there we can also turn on the workspace. So let's toggle that on and we integrate our Gmail and stuff. But before we do that, maybe let's have a look at the privacy. So how data is used. Data. Your data from your Google Workspace is used so that Bart can provide features, summarize emails and stuff like that. Now down here they clearly state that your personal content that Bart gets from Google Workspace is not allowed to be accessed or reviewed by human reviewers. Not used to improve generative machine learning technologies that power Bart. Not used to show you ads. Not stored past the time period needed to provide and maintain Bart services. So we'll take that for what it is and test the features now. So let's click on connect, go over here to start a new chat, and the very first thing I want to test are not the new extensions, but the new Google function that you can use to validate what Bart is saying. So let's have a look at that and ask Bart to give us information about the evolutionary history of the modern dog. Now we just scroll down here, click on the Google icon and everything will be double checked. It's basically massively fast Googling, which I think is pretty neat. And you can see for every single screen there are valid variable sources that you can find on Google. You can click on it and then you can also immediately click on the source to get there. But let's make that with another example where we maybe get something that is not green. So let's ask Bart to please elaborate on the newest findings of biosignals on a water planet, which I find incredibly fascinating, but this is not the video about that. If you're interested, there are basically certain gases and we only know that they are produced by organisms, by living organisms, bacteria and stuff. We don't know any non-living processes that create them. Maybe there are some, but we don't know them. So when we detect these kind of signals, this might be a clue that there are bacteria on that planet. And there have been maybe a few detections. But let's look at this now. Now we have this brownish background, so when we click at that, we get a different source that was found on Google. And the source is Lingui. Okay, I don't know if that is source. Let's click on that real quick. I highly doubt that. It's just translation, so I don't know how that got in there. That's definitely not a source for anything. That's just examples for translation. So I'll just give that here a thumbs down to let Google know that this is not a good source. But further down there was another thing. This one here. Let's click on that. And here we see Google search didn't find relevant content. No, that doesn't mean that there's a conflicting source, it just means that a Google search didn't find anything relevant. It might still be true, it might still be okay, but Google didn't find anything. So we need to do further research on that if we wanted to know it for sure. And I don't know about you, but I think this feature is incredibly useful. Now obviously you can also click on the green sources and go to the website immediately to read further. So let's do that also real quick and then let's go to something else. And here we are at the source, and I think an article from NASA is probably a pretty good source. But let's come to the different extensions now, and if you want to make sure that you use a certain extension, all you need to do is type add. And then you see all the extensions and you can choose whichever one you like. Let's go with YouTube for now, and here you can search and find relevant YouTube videos for whatever topic you want. So let's find the newest relevant YouTube videos about Google Bart updates and have a look at them. And it gave me the newest and most relevant videos. I think this feature is probably self-explanatory, so let's move on to the next one. And as a true personal assistant, let's use Google Bart so it can book and find the cheapest flight and hotels for us for a trip to Lisbon. And yes, this is probably very overused, but it's still something that can save a lot of time or potentially find pretty good deals. So let's look how good Google Bart does with that. And as you can see, it's using the different extensions. You probably could have used Google Maps as well to find the fastest way to the airport, but here we are, a few options for different hotels and for different flights. And up here Bart lists the cheapest options just as I told him. Well done, personal assistant. Alright, and now finally let's use Google Drive. I needed to use an old Google Drive here, so I don't even know what's on there, so let's tell Google Bart to please list all documents relevant to my coaching. And here we go. Well, these are some pretty old documents on there. Anyway, I will copy some of the documents of my Google Drive that I currently use into this old Google Drive, and then we'll play around with it a little bit. Because I think this is probably the most powerful use case and where Google Bart as an assistant could really shine. If you have all your content that you create, all your texts, everything about your target audience, whatever you use it for your marketing, coaching, whatever it is in your Google Drive, you can come up with some powerful stuff with Google Bart together. Good, let's start with something simple and just tell Google Bart to please analyze my client avatar and come up with the most important key points. Alright, perfect. And once you got your avatar in Google Bart like this, you could ask a million questions. For example, what am I missing? What are other things I should find out about my avatar? But for now, let's ask Google Bart about the content I've created so far and what is most fitting for the avatar that I have. And it analyzes all of my content, tells me what is good, what I could do better, and what I could recreate. Good, and based on all of that knowledge now, please Google Bart tell me where on the internet does my target audience hang out? Where am I most likely to find them, and what platforms should I focus on? Alright, great, it ranks Instagram, YouTube and Facebook, which is exactly what I'm doing in this exact order, so it seems like I'm doing everything right. Good, now let's look at something that doesn't work but really needs to be added, which is spreadsheets. Now let's ask Bart to please give me a list of the most used words of my target audience, and I have a spreadsheet for that. But Google Bart cannot find or access this spreadsheet. This really needs to be added, because once you have that, thinking about all my different spreadsheets, you could analyze best performing content, what platform it performed on best, how your audience reacts to your content or messages on different platforms, and basically where to do what to be most effective really fast. But anyway, let's ask Google Bart, what do you think will be the most relevant innovations and trends when it comes to AI and modern technology in the next few months? To have a look at the last feature, which is sharing the conversation. Okay, and when I want to share the conversation, everybody who gets the link can just type into the same conversation and basically look at what I wrote and just continue the conversation where I left. For that, you just go down here, click on the usual share icon, and then you click on share. Well, for me it's teilen because it's German, but you click on share and then you get a link. And I'll leave that link in the YouTube video description, so you can go there and see if it works, type something, and we can have a conversation together. There are definitely some powerful use cases for Google Bart as your personal assistant, and if spreadsheets gets included, it gets even better. So I'm very excited, but even with all of this excitement, we shouldn't forget that it still makes mistakes and is pretty biased to some degree, especially Google Bart, which you can learn about in the video I made about it right over there.